Good morning, Bitcoiners. This is Daniel from the Bitcoin Citadel, day 41 of the Citadel summer. And a little bit foggy out here at the lake this morning. Redbird got me up a little bit earlier. Yesterday was just a beautiful morning, but I was an hour later yesterday. So all the fog had lifted. The clouds that are on the lake had burned off before I started my video yesterday. Here we are, just before sunrise, and it's a foggy one this morning. Oh well. Today's show is going to be a dinger, humdinger, not just a dinger, a humdinger. So I was thinking about, I usually come up with the title of the show first, what I'm going to talk about, and then I just freestyle. That's Citadel Summer in a nutshell. So yesterday, I started to think about this phrase, who dares wins. I don't know where I heard it before, like maybe it was a movie, but it was, a phrase that was running around in my brain. And then I thought of fortune favors the brave, because they're really very, they mean the same thing, right? It's like, I got to do a show about that. I want to talk about, Bitcoiners who, are taking a chance, really. It's outside of the mainstream, and people are taking a chance on this new thing, this Bitcoin, this what we think is perfect money that was either developed or discovered, or this engineering and philosophical accomplishment of Satoshi Nakamoto and the group of people that first contributed to Bitcoin. And then we've had cypherpunks come in, and then we had Ron Paul libertarians come in, and then we had some crazy finance people who were tired of the fixed system, this too big to fail system. They came in, right? And then we had artists and plebs, and now, everyone who is, who sees through the veil, right? Who's pulled back the curtain, who doesn't trust the current system, starting in the events of 2020, which we're all so familiar with, right? Those folks have started to come to Bitcoin, right? And there's a lot of people who are on the fence, who know that something is wrong with the system, who are ready for a change, but they're not willing to jump in, right? And that's where who dares wins comes from in Bitcoin. You have to dare, you have to be brave enough to not only buy Bitcoin on an exchange, but maybe find a way to get Bitcoin that's untraceable, that's really private, what we call no KYC Bitcoin, right? To trust people. You don't trust verify with the money, but you got to find your community and people to trust, or trust a system like HODL or one of these non-KYC ways of trading Bitcoin, right? To take a chance. Who dares wins. And sometimes before I do a show, if I get up early enough, and if the Redbird wakes me up early enough that I can do a little bit of research before I come out, I'll go into Perplexity AI and I'll type something. Like this morning, I typed in, where does who dares win originate? And to my surprise, it originates from a guy in the British Secret Special Air Service, SAS. Sir David Stirling came up with this motto for the Special Air Service in Great Britain: who dares wins. That's the motto of the SAS. Here's the funny thing, a couple of funny things. I'm rereading a book which I love. It's called Cryptonomicon by Neil Stephenson. And I'm rereading it because I actually recommended it to you guys. And the funny thing is my brother, when I saw him at the family vacation in his house, had a copy of that book. And I happen to have the new Neil Stephenson book, and I know he's a fan. So I said, hey, why don't we trade books? Because I just finished this new book, Polo Stand, which is, by the way, an awesome book. And I gave that to him, and I took this paperback copy of Cryptonomicon. I used to have all Neil's books, but when I sold my house, I had a whole collection of awesome books, but I just wound up selling them or giving them away, right? And you know what I did with that money, right? I bought Bitcoin with it. Anyway, so I'm reading this book, and in the book is a group of people in the Special Air Service, the British SAS. And if you guys have watched my videos, you know that I talk about Bitcoiners as the special forces of World War III. World War III, this, final war in the Fiat trilogy, right? We're right in the middle of this psychological and economic war this time that pits nation states against the people, right? That's one of my main theses of this channel of the Citadel Summer. So it's so funny that today, Who Dares Wins was the thing that was in my mind that I was going to talk about. And I do this research, and Who Dares Wins is the motto of the special air service, right? The SAS in Great Britain, which is a special forces group, which is what we are, the special forces of World War III. How awesome is that? So I'm reading a book about it, or that has characters that are in the SAS. I've talked about it in my videos just because it just came to mind. I was riffing on it. Nolan Bowerly, I always talk about him too. He's the one whose frame is, we're in the middle of World War III. It's a psychological and economic war, and it's nation states versus the people, right? And I agree with him on that. I also think that I haven't read The Fourth Turning yet, but I hear people talk about it. I really do want to read it because I think we are. I don't think the numbers of the fourth turning really matter, but I think that we're in this change, right? That's the way the world is right now. And I've also been reading, I'm almost done with, the Sovereign Individual, right? So all of these things are swirling around in my mind, as I do these little freestyle, rips every morning for Citadel Summer. And I just think that that's funny. So here's what I want to say to you guys about Who Dares Wins, and fortune favors the brave. That's why I'm doing these videos, by the way, too, because I met a bunch of guys at the Bitcoin conference, and they all had YouTube channels, right? All of them. Robin Sayre, Rajat Soni, Jor, Jerry Loves Freedom. And I challenged myself. I said, you know what? I gotta get off the sidelines. Well, because I started a business at the Bitcoin conference in May, right? Jor and I are business partners along with 5 other folks, and it's the Bitcoin Citadel. So I said I gotta be a creator. I gotta get in there. So I challenged myself to do it. I dared to do it. I was brave enough to do it, just like those guys were. And I really respect them so much. Jerry Loves Freedom he's got such a great Bitcoin community. If you guys haven't watched Jerry's videos, watch Jerry's videos on YouTube. He basically, I think the Bitcoin conference really re-energized him too, because he's been killing it so much since then. He's got such a great community. He posts so much content now. He goes live every single day, right? You gotta, he's got one of the best communities in Bitcoin. And I love the Living in the Future community that Jor has founded. And now with Rajat and Forrest Hodel, he's formed this Maple Bitcoin school community too. And that's an awesome one too. I'm a part of that one too. I love that community. Find the others, right? That's another thing. Dare to reach out. We got to trust each other, right? We don't have to trust central banks. We don't have to trust third parties that we don't know, but we have to get to know each other as Bitcoiners and to find a community that we can build. That's the way we're going to get through World War III and the dark times that are ahead before the golden age, right? so we can hold on to our Bitcoin, which is going to be the only money that is worth anything, the only money that can buy the things that are worth buying. And the cool part about that is guys who make chairs, gals that make, herbal tinctures, acupuncturists who care about their craft, people who want to focus on delivering value to the world that's worth paying for in Bitcoin are going to be able to start doing that again. It's already happening, right? That's what I see. I'll talk more about it before the end of Citadel summer because I have some ideas around that too. Who dares wins? Are you ready to challenge yourself, right? You're the center of your story, right? If you listen to Simulation Sunday, my thesis for that is you are an immortal being who's experiencing this reality right now, which I think there's a really good chance is a simulation. But this simulation is here for a reason. It's to develop your soul, right? It's to challenge yourself. Remember in The Matrix, the movie? There was a version of that simulation that was just a perfect paradise, and no one believed it, right? Well, the purpose of this simulation is not to be not a paradise. There's an adversary here. It's a predator-prey ecosystem. It's challenging. It's here to help you to refine your soul. But you only refine your soul if you try stuff, right? If you dare. Fortune favors the brave. Who dares wins. Get off the sidelines. Get your Bitcoin into self-custody, right? Take a chance on yourself. These are all the core tenets of the Citadel summer. That's what it is, right? That's what it is. Anyway, book a time with me. Link in the description if you want. Make sure you do it far enough in advance though, because I'm not super organized. I go to bed early. So make sure you book it far enough in advance. I'll see it. Like, subscribe, comment if you've gotten this far, this foggy morning, and let me know what you're thinking. I will talk to you tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow I am going to a concert, and this weekend is going to be, actually, no, tomorrow's not the concert. Yeah, it is. Tomorrow's the concert. Today is a wedding. Tomorrow's the concert. I'm going to try to get videos out because it is Citadel summer, and I've committed to myself to get a video out every single day, right? And I'm going to do it. It's probably not going to be posted as early as I normally do. I will talk to you tomorrow, though. Peace.